Welcome back, everybody. It's Sport Federation TV. It's great to have you along. It's, of course, Friday night where we talk about what's happening in sport in the Western Cape. As you know, of course, a number of sport codes in the province across South Africa, global level as well. Transplant sports is one of our sport codes in the Western Cape. We've got a number of interviews for you lined up tonight, but starting the ball rolling, so to speak, we're going to be catching up with Vivian de Klerk, the president of Transplant Sports Western Cape, and the vice chair of Transplant Sports Western Cape, also Rentia Roux. And of course, both of them have been on the show. Well, in fact, I'm not sure, Vivian, have you been on the show before? But let's bring Vivian in. We've got them both online with me now. Vivian de Klerk, new chairperson at Transplant Sports. Congratulations and welcome to Sport Federation TV.
Thank you, JP.
I got you both on the line. Rentia Roux, welcome back. We've seen you on the show, of course, on a couple of occasions. Welcome to you as well.
Good evening, JP. Thank you for having us.
So it's the first time for us where we have both of you on the show at the same time. I see you both proudly wearing your Protea outfits. That's fantastic, which means obviously that you've both competed at an international level. So we've got Transplant Sports superstars in the Western Cape. Vivian, let's just get the ball rolling. Let's go to you. Herman Steyn, former president, in fact, of Western Cape Transplant Sports, who's of course been on the show with us on a number of occasions. You've stepped into some big shoes here.
Yes, definitely, JP. We all know Herman has been the runner-up of the Sports Administration of the Year in the Western Cape, Cape Metro. He's doing extraordinary work in the transplant community, national and on a provincial level. So it's obviously daunting to take over from him, but luckily we still have him actively involved in our committee as the transformation officer, so he'll be guiding myself and Rentia through this new appointments.
So you've of course jumped on board there as the chairperson, and Rentia, you've taken the other hot seat, being the vice chair of Transplant Sports in the Western Cape. What does that mean for you from a leadership perspective?
I'm looking forward to doing the job, I'm sure Herman will still help us out a lot, as Vivian said. He's very involved with transplant sport, South African transplant sport. So we're looking forward to the new term.
Vivian, when you look at that from a transplant sports perspective, I mean, there are some basic things, of course, that come into the picture that you'll be thinking of, like, for example, making sure that everybody's aware of transplant sports and growing transplant sports and supporting your members. Are those the kind of things that you'll be focused on? Are there a few additions there that you guys, I mean, it's obviously early days, you maybe haven't decided on your full strategy yet, but you've both been involved for a long time. Are there some elements that you can think of that for you jump out as maybe initially some thoughts for the future?
JP, with the whole COVID pandemic that was happening, we were a bit uninvolved in physical sport due to all our athletes is immunosuppressant, most of them, and we don't want to have them put them in danger doing sport. But what we have been doing in 2020 was we were rebranding the whole South African Transplant Sports, the brand. So we had time to do that. We also brought all the provinces or the regions under the national banner. So we worked on that, just getting the brand out there. We've got a fresh new look. If you've seen our social media and our newsletters, we've got a fresh new look for Transplant Sports, and we're hoping we can already see we're getting new members, although we're not actively participating in sport at this stage with our national games and on an international level. We're getting new applications and new members. So they're definitely seeing the new branding, and we're going to work actively to get more members. So when we are able to go international again, our next World Transplant Games will be in 2023 in Australia. We will definitely have more members.
Rentia, if I mean, it's one of the few codes that manages to keep growing, of course. But one of the dynamics is that in transplant sports, you don't necessarily have club structures that have a history of a club with a fixed facility, and that is that a challenge for you?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge, but we encourage our athletes to get involved with a club. Like a lot of our track and field athletes are involved with like Belleville Athletics Club, and we try to get together and train together. Yeah, that was now before COVID. Yeah.
And Vivian, on your side, I suppose the same thing is within transplant sports. You already have a culture. You have a culture of commonality. A lot of people that are part of your sport code are there for the same for common reasons. They've all had a transplant. It already gives you something that binds everybody together.
Yeah, JP, we've got a very tight-knit community, although we're not a lot. I mean, in the Western Cape, we've got 186 active or members. So it's very small, but if we keep in contact with each other, although we're not seeing each other regularly, we will follow each other on platforms like Strava, on social media. So we've got a few athletes that's really active, keeping healthy. And it's amazing to see what these people are doing.
Yeah.
We've got people climbing mountains every day. They obviously don't work, so they have time to do that. But they are climbing mountains. They are swimming. I mean, I can't even run a kilometer, and they're swimming that far. So yes, we've got amazing people, and they're all here because they had solid organ transplants. And they're celebrating life. So that's our main mission in life, is to keep active and then also promote organ donation and transplantation in South Africa.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. Rentia, let's go to you. I mean, from an athlete's perspective, you guys have gone overseas. You've brought back many gold medals. We've spoken to so many of your athletes on the show here as well. Everybody seems to have brought back not only 1, 2, or 3, but in some cases 5 medals. Is that something that transplant sports is able to build on? I mean, is that something that you're able to bring in? I mean, how do you go overseas and get more than 5 gold medals?
Yeah, I haven't managed to get like 5 golden medals at a World Games. But yeah, the object when we go overseas, it is to participate, to mingle with other transplantees. So our mission is not to, you need to go and get a medal. Obviously, that is nice to get a medal.
Yeah,
yeah, the camaraderie amongst even at the World Transplant Games is just amazing.
And Vivian, on a final note, for anybody who's watching now, what words of advice have you got for anybody out there, and maybe people that are not aware that if they've had transplant, they can join transplant sports?
Yeah, JP, it's been proven so many times that after an organ transplant, if you keep healthy and you keep fit, it extends your organ's life by years. It's been proven. And so I want to encourage everyone that had a transplant or even waiting for a transplant, keep healthy, keep fit as far as possible. Obviously, in COVID now, keep safe. Don't expose yourself to unnecessary risks. But we've seen in all our athletes how it improves your quality of life. And that's why we encourage you to do sport. It will extend your life by, I would say, 10 to 20 years.
And Rentia, if there is anybody that wants to join, how would they go about signing up?
Yeah, they must please come in contact with one of us or check out our website. And I want to encourage people, if you had a solid organ transplant, don't be like me. I thought I will not be able to do it. And that's why I didn't join immediately after after my organ transplant. And then just something said, just go try it out. And yeah, look what happened. So yeah, please come join us. It's fun.
All right, we're going to leave it at that. It's been fantastic chatting to both of you. We look forward to talking to you again. I'm sure that Herman Stein is watching this show right now as we speak to make sure that you are picking up the cudgel, so to speak, and flying the flag for Western Cape Transplant Sports.
Thank you, JP.
Thank you, JP.
Thanks, Rentia. Thanks, Vivian. There we go, folks. Western Cape Transplant Sports. And join up, sign up. If you've had a transplant, get involved, get a hold of the folks at Transplant Sports. You can, of course, Google them and find their international, at least their national website. But, of course, you can also visit their Western Cape website, which you would have seen at the bottom of the screen. Just go visit www.westerncapetransplantsports.co.za. Contact numbers are on the website. If you're out there, you've had a transplant, get involved. Sign up. There's a fantastic organization there and a group of people that will embrace you and bring you on board, and it'll show you that there is sport after transplant. Folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we carry on talking about sport in the province. Back in a sec.